Well, I guess I better get this product review going. I don't want to get up. It's hot, man. It's Florida. Jeez. Oh, man. Hello, and welcome to On the Patio Product Reviews. I'm Mr. D, kayak and wildlife photographer, and I'm going to be here to talk about a new product that I just picked up, and I want to share the information with you. Now, what I'm doing currently is I am changing over to 4K video. This is not shot 4K because I didn't have a good 4K camera, but in a kayak you have to worry about costs and all these other kind of elements. But I did want to start shooting 4K. Now my GoPro Hero 5 Black is definitely 4K. It's running right now. But I wanted to get something else, so I did some research and I was looking at the cost factors and all these other things that you got to look at. And I settled on the Panasonic G7. And this is what I've actually settled on. And actually it's a pretty good camera. I was really surprised on how well this thing shoots 4K and actual stills and some of the other features in the camera, but that's not what this video is about. One of the things you got to worry about is with these smaller cameras is weight. You can't be stacking a lot of heavy gear on these smaller cameras, because I'm going to tell you, I just got a feeling it's going to break the hot shoe. So what you need to do is you need to get some kind of a cage. Now, I wanted to keep that to where the cage that I picked up would work good portability-wise, but again, I wanted to save money. I found, and this is called the, I think it's PULUZ. It's P-U-L-U-Z, and it's a nice little cage. And it came yesterday. I wanted to get it all put together and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to do the quick open box review. Here's the box. This is what it came in. Review done. Now I get right down to what this is all about. The cage itself comes in with 15mm rails. It's a pretty decent cage. I'll tell you some of its shortcomings here in a little bit. And what we're going to do real quick is put this thing together and show you how I use it for this particular camera. Now, I use a very inexpensive matte box, but a good matte box was going to cost you $400 or $500, and for these type of videos, that doesn't make any financial sense. So I picked up one a long time ago. I can't even remember who it was by, but I didn't really use it that much, so it kind of just sat in the box. I noticed when I bought the new cage that it came with 15mm rails, which is really cool. Because I knew that the matte box would probably fit on this with no problem. And then make a new rubber seal donut type of thing that would help with this 46mm lens size around this. So it's really, really small. So I wanted to make sure that I blocked out all the light. So before we get into that part of it, let's put this thing together. One of the things that you'll notice right away, this is metal construction. It comes all assembled except for the handle and the lower mount. Now, one of the things I found out right away is it has a door area here, and this says it's made for the G7, but it's really not. The door will not fully open. However, a Dremel tool and some modifications, you could make that work. All I do is loosen it, spin the camera out a little bit, drop the battery, pop the new battery in, put it back in, and I'm good to go. So that's really not an issue. Another issue is you see these two spacers here and where the screws are in. Now, this is for your cable hold right here. Now, with the G7, my HDMI cable is actually on the other side. So it would have mounted here. The problem is these drilled are not the same distance as these. So I can't get the cable hold mounted here. So I'm going to have to take my Dremel tool and open these holes up a little bit, and then that should take care of the problem. And then I'll be able to get it over there. But for now, it's not that big a deal. I ain't going to worry about it. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. It comes with the Allen screws and the extra hardware that you need. First, let's go ahead and put the stand on. And you just take two Allen, the screws that they provide, and it's recessed in real nice so it'll flush up, and that's kind of cool. And basically just screw them in. And then once you get that all done, just cinch it up and that part's ready to go. Now I found out also the handle comes assembled, and they supply a quarter, or the quarter 20 screw to mount it. The problem is when you go to put the Allen wrench in, it won't clear. So you kind of have to do the short way, so it takes a long time. However, you can remove the screw here inside that holds this arm if you want to, then screw it down that way. But you know, to me it's not that big a deal, so I'm not going to worry about it. So you get this set up where you want to go, and pop your screw in and just screw it down. Okay, the handle's all installed, and basically the cage is put together. Now if you're going to use the cable hold downs for this particular camera, you can only use it for the mic one, unfortunately, because the spacing here, let's see if we can get a close shot, it looks like it's lined, but it's not. So I'm going to ream out one of these right here, and then I'll be able to use it on the other side. This particular cage will be holding a Lilliput monitor, external mic, either the lapel system or the external shotgun mic, and sometimes my lighting system, and that's a lot of weight. So that was part of the concern I had, having all this stuff mounted on the G7 hot shoe. It just bothered me, so I said, you know, I'm going to go with a cage. It'll be safer, and I won't have to worry about them. Plus, it'll be easier to carry around. Now, the cage mount for the camera, it's got a big round thumb screw, and you just, you know, line it up. It's not the best in the world, but it's not the worst either. So you just get it lined up, and once you're where you want to be, just screw it down, line it up center, cinch it. Now, let me show you the problem here. They say this is for the G7. I'm going to open the battery door, and that's as far as it'll open. So what I do is I loosen this, I swing the camera like that, I drop the battery, put the new battery in, I swing it back around and tighten it back up, and it's not that, I mean, it's a design flaw that they said it will fit the G7, but it actually will not. As far as the battery door clearance, everything else is fine, as you can see here. So, putting the rails in is standard. Just insert the rails. Then if you have a matte box or a follow me focus ring or whatever, I wouldn't be using that for this particular camera. There's no way. But I mean, for those that have a follow me, this would work out pretty cool. The finish on this is really good. I mean, it's not the greatest in the world, but I'm not going to complain for the price. I mean, it was a good price. But there's your unit. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the matte box and show you what I did there, and then show it all completed. Now, I made this seal out of some toolbox shelving rubber, and I put 2 layers together to go ahead, because this is so small that I could put it up here and it would still focus in and out and not pop the seal. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and put the matte box on. Okay, as I install the matte box, I can adjust the height and center out the lens. So I just raise this up just a little bit, get it centered where I want it. Now that's locked into place. The rubber seal, basically all I do is pop this in. I look, see if I'm high enough. In this case, I'm not. Actually, I'm too high on the matte box. Get your seal there. Now what you do is you would do a test to make sure that it'll focus in and out. No problem there. And this installation is done. So you got your little matte box going on. You can focus in and you can zoom in and out with it, and hook your microphones and everything right here like that. So there's your setup, and it's all done. I've got no light leaks coming through the seal. So there's the kit. Cage all mounted, and now I can set this up for in-field use for 4K videos, which is where I want to go now. So I'm hoping that the Panasonic Lumix G7 will do a good job. The reviews say that it definitely will. And with the cage on now, I'm not worried about adding all the extra accessories, light, the monitor and all that. And they give you all kinds of different places in here to be able to mount stuff. You got quarter 20s up here, you got 3/8, you got a quarter 20 here, you got a hot shoe if you want to pop in. These are threaded on both ends. I have a articulating arm that is just, one is to where it just has a quarter 20 screw, and I could just screw it right there and be able to mount the monitor that way, or I can use the hot shoe mount for that other articulating arm, which I could pop in here to set up the monitor here or here. So there's a lot of advantages to this particular cage. Again, I looked all over the place on YouTube and stuff like that, and I couldn't find any product reviews on the PULUZ, and I think I'm enunciating that correctly. Now again, this is the PULUZ camera cage, and I'll put a link down below that will tell you where I got it from. I got it from Amazon, and then you can decide if this is going to work for you. They say it works for the Sony 6300, the GH4, the G7, and it probably does because the size is what it is, but I think they kind of missed the boat on the battery door. But again, like I explained earlier, that's really not a problem. And I'll be able to carry this thing with the little matte box thing and shoot the video, sit there and shoot video all day long using this. So there you have it, folks. This thing is really working out well for me. I think it's going to work out well. Again, it comes with the 2 Allen wrenches. You want to keep those in your camera bag just in case something loosens up, but I'm going to tell you, this thing is tight. And so from here at On the Patio product reviews, this is Mr. D. We'll see you later.